Wondering what's next in your business or personal life? Welcome to Success to Significance, Life After Breaking Through Glass Ceilings, a podcast dedicated to helping you with all of life's challenges, discoveries, and opportunities. Whether you're seeking a new career, retirement, or simply wanting to make an impact in your community or the world. Join Jenn Du Plessis and her guests as they explore how to start, what to do when you're in the thick of a change or growth, and how to leave a mark in this world after breaking through your next achievement. You are moments away from the aha you've been seeking.
Hi there, and welcome back to this episode of Success to Significance, Life After Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. I'm your host, Jenn Du Plessis, and again, I always want to say thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule to listen in and or watch us. You know, it's so funny, most people don't watch and you get all crazy about, is my background okay? Are all these things okay? And I've gotten to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. I love just sharing with you all of these wonderful, great experts that we bring onto the show. So with that said, let me introduce you to today's expert and guest. Her name is Jenn Beninger. She is known as the Genius Unlocked she isn't. Jenn Beninger is the Genius Unlocked founder and CEO of Genius Unlocked Institute, and she's a board certified company where she coaches, mentors, and transforms leaders' personal and professional lives, which we're going to talk about today. And through her thousands of hours of executive experience, Jenn has refined the art of coaching others on how to delve into what's holding them back and guiding them to successfully live in their purpose by calling on their intuition. That's just a mouthful. So we'll dissect that and figure out exactly what she does. With her deep understanding of energy work, intuition, communication skills, and mindset work, Jenn is able to produce more breakthrough results than she or her clients could ever dream of. She has refined the art of coaching others to tap into their intuition, overcome these obstacles, and live more purposefully. So welcome to the show, Jenn. We're happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Jen. It is exciting to be here. And thank you all for the listeners for hanging out with us while we have this amazing conversation. I love talking about this stuff, and I'm excited to see where we go today.
Yeah, well, I'm always excited to see where we're going to go too. I mean, anyone who's been listening to my show for this particular one for the last 4 years knows it can go anywhere. It can absolutely go anywhere. So you and I met on the Marketers Cruise, which, by the way, everybody, I'm going to put the link in there as well so that you can sign up for the Marketers Cruise. Just be sure to scroll down and find Lady Jenn Du Plessis as the person who invited you, because you can't just go online and get in here. You've got to know where to go to get it. So the Marketers Cruise, fantastic. It was your first cruise, my 7th cruise. And I know that you had a really, really good time and you're planning to come again. So I'm excited to see you next year as well. But that's where we met. And I, was impressed with your 30-second speech. We all did a 30-second spot and thought, oh, I need to have her on the show, to talk about leadership, because this is an area that I focus on as well. I focus primarily on leadership. That's what I do, is I coach high-level executives and corporations on manifesting better leadership so that, and management, because it's different. Management and leadership are better, but I help people build world-class teams. So we're right in alignment, but you've got a different angle to it. And that's why I wanted to bring you in. I'm very strategic in my approach. I have a little bit of mindset in there that I work on, but mainly mine is strategic, where yours is more mindset focused. So I figured this would be a great time for us to have you on. But before we start talking about what you do, let's talk about some of your glass ceilings that you've broken through, because we all break through them, whether we're men or women or purple or orange, whatever color and gender we are, wherever we come from, economic status, and whether it's business or personal. Tell us a little bit about some of the ceilings that you've broken through in your life and the lessons that you learned on the way, so that those who are listening can say, well, gosh, if Jenn can do it, I can do it too.
Love that question. Number one, love what you do, because we all need that. And I love the synergy that we're going to create today in this conversation. So my journey has been a pretty fascinating, interesting one, I'm told. I live in actually the Bay Area. So I live in Silicon Valley. So I've done a couple of IPOs. back in my career as in corporate America. So I really knew I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. So one of those glass ceilings was really stepping into being a true entrepreneur, because I went to college and I got a job at a little known company you might have heard called WebMD, back when it was just starting, before it went public. So I was working there, and I thought I was going to be the red power suit. I was going to have a live-in nanny. I was going to, live in, a big mansion in, Palo Alto Hills, right? And I had this goal that's what I was going to do. Well, life decided it was going to give me something different. So I ended up getting married, and which was great. And then realized that I was struggling a lot with infertility. So in my 20s, and it was a real struggle, and it was a lot about stress, right? I'm not sure if anybody here listening has ever dealt with stress at any level, but it's not fun. And I had started my first business actually part-time in 1997 when I was also working in corporate America. But I was struggling. I was struggling with finances, believe it or not, which is another glass ceiling I'll talk about. I was struggling with infertility. I was struggling with feeling, not good enough, isolated, alone, stressed out. At the time, my husband was in law enforcement, so he was working undercover. So I was like by myself all the time. So I was like struggling with all of this. And then this is where I a little bit tapped into my intuition, and I had this little tap that said, you know what, you've been doing this business for part-time. Corporate America isn't working. You want to start a family. So I made my full-time move into entrepreneurship in 2002. And within 3 months was pregnant. So yay. And then there was the next ceiling. So now I'm fully in entrepreneurship. So some of you might be entrepreneurs here. Some of you might be using skills just to advance in your corporate world, which is awesome. And I was working with high level clients. So, I was making, multiple five figures a month per client. And I was running into this, and I'm not so Jen, this is what made my transition, is I was running into clients who I would tell them what to do. I'm like, no, if you want to make six figures, if you want to make seven figures, just do these things. Well, they weren't doing them. They weren't doing those things. Yeah. And I was trying to figure out. And so that means I wasn't doing them either. So then the next ceiling, I love how you asked about where the next ceiling is. So I had to figure it out. I'm like, why are they not doing what I'm telling them to do? Like, what is happening? And I realized that it was about what was going on in their unconscious mind. So then I moved over into the understanding the mindset in the corporate world, of figuring out what was really stopping them. So we actually call it, believe it or not, is shatter your income ceiling. So I was stuck at this level.
Yeah.
So I was stuck at this level. And then my husband at the time was making multiple six figures in law enforcement. I was making multiple six figures in corporate, but we were broke. We were broke at a different level. And I'm not sure if there's anyone here that feels that. It's like, if you make 100,000, but you spend 101, you're still broke. You're just broke at a different level. And we were, again, both of us making multiple six figures, Silicon Valley. And we were arguing, Jen, on which credit card to put toilet paper on. Because all of our credit cards were maxed out. He put it on this credit card. It threw us over. We got a fee, and there was this big blow up fight. And I was like, okay, enough. I'm done. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Making the money, doing all of these things. What was the next ceiling? So that was my next ceiling. So then I walked into my first mindset training, my first, the first certification I got was in neuro-linguistic programming. But I remember the first time I walked in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, we were struggling in our marriage. And I said, you know what? I'm going to walk in here and I'm going to save my marriage. Actually, what I did is I saved myself, because that was my next ceiling, is understanding how your unconscious mind, how your internal world creates your external world. That was a huge aha for me. And when I truly realized how my internal world was creating my external world, that was my next boundary. So I got us completely 100% out of $100,000 in debt in 14 months without actually either one of us getting a raise or making more money. I was able to turn my client base around where they were getting massive success because I was integrating the conscious and the unconscious mind and supporting them and understanding their external world creates their internal world. So then that was the next ceiling that I broke, was financially. Then it came time 25 years later, I came time that my marriage wasn't no longer working. So we did all the things, but then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I want to go here. He wants to go here. We have two beautiful daughters. We went through all of these struggles and we had great times, and it's time for us to move on. So I ended up being told with our mediator she's like, you are the happiest divorced people I've ever met. And it's because it was how I understood how my internal world created my external world. So when I took responsibility and, he grew and I grew, and now we co-parent our daughters, 21 and 17, depending on when you hear this podcast, they might be older by then. So that was my next ceiling that I did that. And then what that did for me as well is when I started Genius Unlocked, so I was working for another company and I wasn't in alignment anymore. So that's a key piece, ladies and gentlemen, is being in alignment. So I was running a multi-million-dollar coaching organization for another person, and I just wasn't in alignment anymore. So then I launched Genius Unlocked. Again, depending on when you hear this podcast, when it's recorded, I started Genius Unlocked 5 years ago. And when I was able to switch from getting the divorce and getting in alignment, we were able to reach 7 figures in less than 2 years. And that was a long road, ladies and gentlemen, from, struggling, being broke at a different level, not being in alignment with my personal life, not being in alignment with my self-expression, not being in alignment with business, that then when I shifted and started understanding the integration between the conscious and unconscious mind, I have a business with my best friend. My oldest daughter has completely, in the last 4 years, become one of our head trainers and head coaches. We have now a team of 10 with, up into the right numbers. And again, none of that is to impress any of you. None of it. It doesn't impress any of you. Some of you have way bigger, stacks than I do. It's just a matter. What I really want to impress upon you all is once you can integrate that conscious and the unconscious mind and understand your internal world, create your external world, the sky is the limit, whatever that next goal for you is. It doesn't even have to be in business. It could be in family. It could be in relationships. It could be in your health. And so that's really my journey, is going from that insecure, wanting my external world to create my internal world, thinking I was going to be this, red power suit. And I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be happy in my relationships. I wanted to be healthy. And all of that came from integrating those two, was that arc for me. And now, like I said, my full-time business owner since 2002 has been the greatest ride these last 5 years when I figured out that secret. And so that's what brought me here today. And this is why I love what I do, because we support coaches or anyone that wants coaching skills in their life. So you don't even have to be a coach. You don't even have to be an entrepreneur. You just want the skills in your life to understand your internal world, creating your external world. So that's what brought us now. And now we're here. So here we go.
Okay. I love it. Yeah, I think alignment, I want to just comment a couple of things. Alignment definitely is the key here, and especially, we hear a lot of speakers talk about the fact, it's not to impress you, but to impress upon you. But I really want to I want to make sure everybody really heard this, because it kind of falls on deaf ears. Sometimes people are like, yeah, whatever. What I want people to understand is that alignment and success, to me, they're the same thing, because you're talking about having a team of coaches and this, that, and the other. And internally, I was throwing up, because I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And this is what we're talking about when we say alignment, right? And when we say press upon you, is that someone else's success or definition of how they set up their company or whatever. And you even made a comment, hey, some of you may be even bigger than that, which would make me throw up even more, because I have a very boutique company. I already made my millions in my previous career, right? I have a very boutique company. I still do really, really well, but I'm more focused on less is more, right? Because I want a very high quality of life. And that's where the alignment is for me. And so I really want to press this upon everybody is you've got to define what is alignment for you? What does that really, really mean? And what is success for you? Because that creates alignment. And I was telling this story on stage not too long ago about Mont Blanc pens. And if you're not old enough to know, okay.
Now what a Mont Blanc is.
But I'm old enough to know I'm 60 when we're recording this, right? And I'm 60 years old, and now I get it, but back then, ownership of a Mont Blanc pen was the end all be all. And by the way, I remember paying, I think it was $199 for a Mont Blanc pen. They're now $600. They're $600 even today to buy a Mont Blanc pen. And when I bought that pen and opened up that beautiful case it comes in, I thought, oh, I've arrived. And it wasn't until I couldn't get it pulled apart one day because it unscrews, but I couldn't get it pulled apart. And the pen spewed all over my red suit that you're talking about, right? Spewed all over the suit that I was wearing, that's how I was supposed to dress. That I realized that's not the success I want. There's got to be something else for me, right? And so I realized I wasn't in alignment with what I wanted in life. And so it doesn't matter what you do, for us to have health, be working in our genius zone, have influence on other people, and be happy. I think happy is a really good word. And I was going to ask you a little bit about that too, but because this alignment is happiness, and going and driving toward what you want for success and how you want your business and how you want your life is all about that alignment. So let's talk a little bit about happiness just for a second, because this is that connection between intuitive, and wealth that you love talking about, is that connection between your intuition and your wealth. And I think that when we talk about happiness, that comparing ourselves to others, as I've been talking here for the last minute and a half, comparing ourselves to others is the thief of joy.
1,000,000%.
So we don't follow our intuition. We just want wealth because we see other people that have wealth. But to your point, and I've seen it, I was in mortgage business for 40 years. I've seen people that come in and make 7, 8, 9 figures, $100,000, $50,000. And quite frankly, the people who make $50,000 have more money, have better credit, had much more happiness in their lives than the people who made a lot of money. They can make it, but they can't keep it. So what happens to the intuition when you're chasing wealth? Why is it that it goes out the window and all we're doing is trying to compare ourselves to others?
I love that question. And so I'll start with my definition of alignment, because again, everybody has a different definition. Like I loved how you said, like a lot of people have different definitions of success.
Yeah.
Some people it is money. Some people it's, it's all the different things. So my definition of alignment. So when I'm talking alignment is when your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors are congruent. That's alignment. If you're thinking about something, you have a positive emotion around it and your behaviors match that, you're in alignment.
Yeah.
So where your intuition comes in is and there's nothing wrong with one of these being out of whack or 2 out of 3 being out of whack. That's okay. It's becoming aware that they're out of whack.
Yeah.
So that's where the integration of the conscious unconscious mind, because our unconscious mind has everything and it's your driver. So where your intuition comes in is your conscious mind, your thinking mind, your mental mind is the goal setter. So you're setting goals with your conscious mind, whether it's a health goal, a wealth goal, a money goal, a business goal, whatever the goal is, you're setting it with your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind, ladies and gentlemen, is the goal getter, because your unconscious mind holds your alignment. It's are your thoughts around what you set a goal. Let's say you set a goal. We're talking about money. So let me just say money. Let's say it's your next 100,000. I don't care if that's a year, a month, a week, a day, a minute, whatever your next 100,000 is, you're setting that goal. You think it, then your unconscious mind comes in and says, well, I don't think I deserve it. Then your feeling comes in, I'm scared of what success looks like or failure looks like. And then your behaviors are, you procrastinate, you don't pick up the phone, you don't do the thing. So number one, you could set a goal in your conscious mind, and your unconscious mind knocks you down all 3 levels. You're like, I don't think I deserve it. I'm scared to death, and I'm not going to do the thing.
Yeah. Instantly.
Or any combination.
Yeah.
So it could be any combination of those.
Yeah.
So where does the intuition comes in? So what's happening is your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that aren't in alignment with this goal is coming from your either inner critic, your inner ego, or your inner child, because they have a role in your life. Your intuition gives you all the answers. So what do I mean by that? So if you're let's just say, so your inner ego, let me just define those really quick, just really, really quick. So your inner ego protects the identity that you've created for yourself. So if you've created an identity that I'm not a successful entrepreneur, your ego will protect that. Your inner critic will keep you stuck in where you are, because your inner critic knows how to do the problems that you have.
Yeah.
So I was a broke entrepreneur for 10 years because my inner critic knew how to be a broke entrepreneur. Your inner child is trying to keep you safe. So it's keeping you from that fear.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's keeping you in that space. Okay. So that's their job. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you do nothing else, be kind to them, because they do have a job. Their job is to give you a warning light. It's like the gas light coming on in your car. You don't yell at your gas light in the car. Like, how dare you? Come on. I have enough gas. So we're being mean to now I will say this. I use this comparison, Jen, where like your smoke alarm battery goes off, and you really do want to, like, you really do yell at that one, especially because is it programmed to go off at 3 a.m.? Like, does anybody's battery go off like on a Friday when you can go to the store and get it fixed? But those are your inner voices that are giving you this warning light. So when you're out of alignment, one of those 3 voices is talking, or any combination of them. So here's how your intuition comes in. Your intuition has all of the answers. It has the learnings. It will always lead you in the direction that best serves you. The universe is always conspiring to do you good. Your intuition is coming from source, whatever your definition is. It could be your higher self. It could be God. It could be the universe, whatever it is for you, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It's your source. Your intuition is uncovering your true genius, and it's dispelling these myths that the other 3 voices are saying. So if your inner ego is saying, I don't have anything else to learn, I'm going to just dig in and I'm going to do it right, your intuition is going to come in and say, yes, and would you consider this possibility? You really do deserve it. We clean all that up. And then it will let you know that you're safe. It'll let you know that it's like your GPS. Your GPS doesn't yell at you when you make a wrong turn. Your GPS reroutes you. Well, that's what your intuition does.
Yeah.
So being able to tap into, tune in, and turn on your intuition and follow what we call inspired action. That is the definition of your internal world creating your external world. Because what happens is some people out there take external action. I'm doing this because I'm told that this is the definition of success. I'm doing this because I was told this is how I make money. I'm doing this because $100,000 equals success. That's external doing internal. So when you get those external things, your other 3 voices kick in. If you turn it on its head and you say, okay, what does my intuition say? Because here's the deal, Jen, your genius is your genius. Who am I to tell you your genius can't be your genius? If I was to come in and say, well, Jen, you have a boutique business, that's not going to get you what you want. That's ridiculous when you think about it, but we let people tell us those things.
So
being in that alignment.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, as you call it. Sometimes we're chasing all these programs, coaches, external opinions.
It's coming from outside.
Yeah. And it starts telling a tale of, oh, I shouldn't say this. I should have said that. So by the way, I call this eating soup with a fork. because this is what people do. I'm sorry, you're drinking. If you're not watching, she
Love
just
that.
took a
I
sip
would love,
of
I don't
something.
know. Do you have any coffee spit takes on your podcast? Maybe I'll put one.
That might be good. That might be good.
That was
No,
awesome.
but
Yeah,
I
I was
call
just,
it
you know, I
eating,
talked.
yeah, eating soup with a fork, because someone said we should do something. Someone said we should buy something. Someone said we should get a platform. Someone said we should do this, and we're chasing. This is where all the alignment comes out, because it's someone else's. It's actually a conglomeration or a congregation of everyone else's opinion that's now driving everything for us. And because it's not manifesting, because we're not aligned, but because it's not manifesting, we start self-doubting. And so all of these little inner, I want to say critics, like, because all of them are critics, right? These little inner critics start coming out and saying, well, you're not good enough. You're an imposter. You probably did it wrong. You should probably change it. And then what you do is seek more congregation to fix it. And that causes even more problems. Right. So how do we tap into our intuition? Do we just stop and go, hey, intuition, solve this
Love this.
problem for me?
Okay. So the first step is identifying. Okay. Well, actually, let me do this first. So your intuition, please write this down unless you're driving. Go back and rewrite it and write this down. Your intuition is always universal quantifier, always kind, always. It may not always be gentle. Mm-hmm. So we can we call it wand. So again, like you said, with the Mont Blanc pens, one of our clients early on in our business said, God, that was like getting hit with a dead fish. So we've called our dead fish Wanda. Yes, of course, from a fish called Wanda. So that's like our emoji, is when you get this aha moment where you're like this gut punch, like, oh my gosh, I am brilliant. Oh my gosh, that is, I am powerful. When you get these learnings, we call it a Wanda. And it's like getting hit with a dead fish. So it may not always be gentle, and it'll always be kind. So the first step is to understand who is talking to you. Is it your inner ego, your inner critic, or your inner child? Because they are not kind. They're negative thoughts. You have negative emotions. So the first thing is to identify who is connecting with you is your intuition. Once you have your intuition connected, so you understand, okay, it's being kind. The other thing, your intuition will always, again, without a doubt, your intuition will always lead you into the best possible scenario. The challenge is the other three voices like to tell you, well, you're going to get hurt there. You're going to get this. So if you tap into your intuition and you're like, okay, what are the learnings? So this is the key part, is what are the learnings I deserve to learn so that I know that this is where I'm going. So when you start hearing things like, okay, you really are in your genius. You know what, Jen, you really do know what you're talking about. This was the biggest thing to support me from moving from a 25-year marriage to getting a divorce, is I was like, I'm going to have to live in a box. I don't know how to make this kind of money. Like that was all my inner, and my intuition was,
and
like,
that would have been, I just want to talk about that real quick. So that would have been your inner critic that was talking, not your safety, not your protection.
It was my inner child and inner critic, because I was trying to be safe because I was afraid I was going to live in a box.
Yeah.
And inner critic was, you're not going to be able to make enough money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not going to be able to. So the thing that was so funny is the moment I got in alignment, got a divorce, we hit every goal we could possibly think of. Yeah. So that's the example of now I'm not saying it's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. I understand it. It's not about not being hard. That's why we're having this human experience, is to understand what do I have to do. So your intuition, what it does is there's two things that also it does. So I don't want to go too many sideways here. So there's two things that are happening with your inner critic, your inner child, and your inner ego. Is it suppressing your identity, which is why you came on this planet in the first place, why you're here having this human experience. You had an identity. Those three voices are suppressing that identity, and they're suppressing the need that didn't get met. So what does your intuition do? Your intuition comes in, meets that need, and uncovers that suppressed identity, because the identity that we're holding on to is the one that was given to us. And we all know this. Like I have a degree in psychology. We all have heard, it's the 0 to 7. It's you're adopting your parents' values.
Right.
Your church and your school told you this. So that's a true statement. Is you came here as a blank unconscious mind as a baby, and then your identity was suppressed and your needs weren't getting met. So what your intuition is doing is it's finding that suppressed identity, and it's finding that need that didn't get met, and it's meeting it, and it's uncovering it. So it quiets the three minds. They're all important. We don't want to blame or shame them or get mad at them. They're here to tell us something. They're part of you. So the more you yell at your inner critic, inner child, and inner ego, you're really yelling at yourself. So instead saying, I hear you. I know you're telling me that I can't do it. I know you're telling me that it's going to fail. I know you're telling me that I'm right. And what do I need to learn?
Yeah.
What do I need to learn? That I'm powerful, that I'm strong, that I'm courageous, that I'm intuitive, that I'm magical, that I'm all of these things, so that then you take inspired action. So the difference between the action you were told that you mentioned earlier, action, into action, things will happen. No, it's what am I inspired to do? Because my inspired action is different than yours.
Yeah, of course.
Your inspired action was to create 4 world-renowned podcasts. Mine is to be a guest. Mine is to speak internationally on stage. Mine is to do this. Someone else's is to do something else. And what happens is we all compare each other. We have a client of ours that actually trademarked this term. It's called comparanoia. It is a client. It's a trademark statement. He did a TED talk on it. And we get into comparanoia, which means we're not trusting our intuition. Yeah. Go inside of what makes you special. So it does take some work. So it does take a little bit. We have a really cool meditation. Actually, it's going to be one of the things that y'all are going to get if you decide to opt into our free gift. Is one of our meditations. It's called the 4 Voices. And it's actually a meditation where you learn how to quiet the other 3 and then bring in your intuition.
Oh, what a beautiful gift. Yeah.
Beautiful gift. I listen to that once a week for the last 4 years. I'm like, go you.
Right. Well, and sometimes we do need to re-listen to it again. So as we wrap up our time together, because we've got so much we could uncover, I know there's a whole bunch of things, but let's talk in the last couple of minutes here about hypnotherapy. I can't believe I was going to say hypnotherapy.
Yes.
Hypnotherapy, because some people are thinking, and, I just went to a big event called Secret Knock that I've been part of for many, many years. It's the best event in the world that you can't come to unless you're invited. And while I'm at the event, there was a hypnotist there, right? And he comes in, and oh gosh, we were all laughing and having a really good time. But one of the things that he does at the end is the people that he hypnotized, he makes sure that they change their lives, that he helps them overcome barriers and beliefs and stuff. So there's one side of me that's going, wow, I can listen to a bunch of meditations, talk about this, work on it. Or I could just have someone hypnotize me and tell me I'm perfect and I'm great and I can move forward. So tell us, where do these two things come together? Okay. Because I know a lot of people are relying, I'm just going to go get hypnotized to quit smoking, instead of how do I learn to create a better habit for myself? Which I don't smoke, by the way. Okay. I don't smoke.
Okay. So we have another 4 hours, right? Now, just
no. So let's try 2 minutes. 2 minutes, just a high level. 2 minutes or less.
Okay, really, and it's going to be super simple. So again, those of you that are watching, I have a triangle with my fingers. Those of you that are listening, imagine a triangle in front of you. If you're driving, make sure that you're like a yield sign. Imagine that you're seeing a yield sign. Okay, right. Really quick. So this is why we're different. And I'm going to say, this is why we're different. This is why all of our coaching is 8 modalities intertwined, because of this reason. On one corner, you have your conscious mind coaching, which is your ICF, your nonviolent communication, your cognitive behavioral therapy, NLP coaching. Right. These are in ICF, International Coach Federation. What happens is if you only do work on the conscious mind, it's not permanent and long lasting, because all permanent and long lasting change happens in the unconscious mind. So what happens is if you only do conscious mind coaching, you revert back. It just happens. It's just the way that it is. That's why I like talk therapy. Okay. Because I have a degree in psychology. I thought I was going to be a therapist. Well, it's all conscious. Okay. Then you go to the other corner, ladies and gentlemen. This is the unconscious mind. This is breath work, hypnotherapy, somatic coaching, energy work. Here's the thing. it works. You're right. It does work because
But it's
all
one
change.
segment. Yeah.
But what happens is if you don't integrate it with the conscious mind, you'll reinstall it. So you're going to go to a hypnotist and you're going to clear it all up. And then your conscious mind's going to call bullshit. Excuse me. It's going to call bullpucky. You can edit that out. You can beat me. Sorry. It calls bullpucky. We call it shiitake mushrooms, and you reinstall it. So then you have to go do it again.
Yeah.
Now we're at the top of the triangle. This is so important on why you integrate the conscious and the unconscious mind. And we do that with our paradigm shift process, which is the 8 modality modifications. So what you do is you go up from the conscious mind, you go up to the top, and you do all of the root cause coaching. We get to the root of it all. What is that need that was suppressed? And what is that identity that you're suppressing?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's awareness. You have to become aware of it. Then you have to go into your unconscious mind, find it in your body. You have to find it with energy work. And then that goes up the side of the other side of the triangle. Then you get to the top. Then we do our paradigm shift process, which integrates the two, which means it cleans it up from the conscious mind. It releases it at the unconscious mind. They believe it with each other and it's gone permanently. And that's what I figured out over the last, since I've been a coach. I started out as just as a business coach to what I do now is when I figured out that integration piece. And the catalyst to it all, ladies and gentlemen, is your intuition. It has the answers.
Yeah,
so that's why
the whole triangle is intuition. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we have coaches that come, no matter what modalities they already have. Maybe they have one certification or maybe they have one in each, but they come to figure out how to do it together. Because I started out as a conscious mind business coach. I'm a master Reiki in 3 different things. I'm a master with Huna. I have 16 coaching certifications, and it wasn't until I figured out how to integrate them, my clients' massive, permanent, lasting results is that integration. So I hope that was less than 2 minutes, but
I love that. I love it. I know. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. And I think it was an important thing because, as I'm reading, some of the things on your one sheet, I'm going, okay, so there's hypnotherapy and then there's this and there's that and there's that. And really just trying to pull it all together so that everyone who's listening can start thinking, okay, I've got 3 of these and 1 of these, and I've got 3 of these things. And we just want to make sure that everyone is understanding it clearly, that working on one area alone is just not enough. And, and I see this a lot. I see this with yoga instructors. They work on yoga, but I don't see them doing any practical application. This is why they not physically, but financially struggle, as they're not working on the other side. Then I see people who make tons and tons of money. They're narcissists, right? They make tons and tons of money and they're all about themselves, etc. And they're like, I don't want to do any yoga work. I don't want to do any meditation. But see, they're losing out. And it's funny because I have a mantra in my business called mindset plus methods equals momentum. And it was something that I had to experience, is that I was just climbing the corporate ladder. I was, heavily into corporate America and a woman in business. We've already talked about our age, right? And except I'm older, but just the women in business and going, trying to climb up that ladder and really focusing just on the conscious strategies and tactics and whatnot. And while I do that in my coaching, I teach people about the strategies and tactics, etc. I always have a mindset piece of it and bring people in and have retreats, for that very reason, to bring people in so that they can tap into those areas that I'm not an expert in. I know about them because I experience them myself, but that's not my expertise. And so I bring people in to help create that, and that creates that momentum in your life. So I love that you're, it's so crazy how we can be so aligned, but do things so differently and still have the same results. And this is what we talked about in the beginning, is you listening need to know what you want. It's not what Jen has. It's not what the other Jen has. We got all these Jens on here. It's not what either of these Jens have in this show. You have to really, really dig deep and start working on what do you truly, truly want. And I think this is going to become even more powerful in the years to come, because we have AI, we have humanity, threatened. And I'm not saying AI is going to threaten it. I'm just saying there's a threat there in our ability to keep up with AI, and we've got to level up our consciousness and our subconsciousness and our unconsciousness into, to be able to keep up with all the changes that we're going to experience in the coming years, and they're not many years away from us. So that was wonderful. So so the gift that you're going to give is meditation. Thank you for doing that. And so we'll have the links. Yeah.
Yes. All the links. So there's a series of meditations that I always love to give away. And then there is what we call, it's our unlocking business. And you're gonna be like, well, you've been talking about intuition. Why is there an unlocking business workshop? Because it's how to grow, again, whether you're working in corporate or if you are an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. It still works. The whole process, it's called unlocking business because it unlocks and integrates your conscious, unconscious mind for you to hit whatever your next goal is. And so that's why it's called Unlocking Business. It's a workshop. You get, it's on demand. It's on your own time. You can watch it whenever. And it is just one of my favorite things to share because it starts that integration and then shattering that income ceiling, that shattering that next level of where you're at. It talks about that integration. So that's what I would love to give away. And then we always love doing a live masterclass. So no matter when you're listening to this podcast, we always have a new masterclass coming up. It's the basis of it's what we love to do. So you'll get a free VIP ticket to that as well. And then in Unlocking Business has all of those meditations. So if you do want to make a note, because sometimes I don't talk about it specifically, but make sure you find the 4 voices meditation when you get the access and listen to that right away. It'll help you with those 3 voices, quieting them, not getting mad at them, but quieting them, and then really enhancing your intuition. Awesome. So I appreciate the being able to share that with your audience, Jen.
Of course. Beautiful gifts. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So what would you like to leave us with? A quote, a book to read, a mantra you have. What would you like to leave us with?
I would say developing your intuition is the answer to all of your questions. Truly understanding the power of your intuition will answer all of your challenges. And I say that because I really hope that I've shared with you the importance and I know it might sound, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. So that's why just continuously develop your intuition, to trust it and to take the inspired action.
Love that. And I love inspired action versus action, right? I totally get that. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you again, Jen, for being with us today. We sure appreciate it. And I just look forward to continuing our relationship moving forward. We'll talk about it back in the green room when we're finished here. But for those of you that are listening, thank you so much again for taking time out of our busy day. Be sure to take advantage of all of the links that we have below about our events coming up, about the gifts that Jen has shared. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And one last thing, scroll down with your quick little flip of your thumb and give us a great 5-star rating and write in a comment about something that you learned from Jen so that we can share that with her. And so until next time, we will catch you in the next episode of Success to Significance.
You've been listening to Success to Significance with Jenn Du Plessis, the #1 podcast for people wanting to give more value and make an impact. Loved this episode? Be sure to subscribe right now at www.jennduplessis.com/S2S for more stories, strategies, and thoughts to help you gain significance and success. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to give us a rating and review so we can continue to bring you the best content possible. Join us next week for another breakthrough episode. Thank you for listening.